Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome everybody to today's live stream. You know what comes next? You know what comes next. I'm really excited about today's topic. I'm really excited. I guess I'm really excited about all our topics. I really am. And at the end, we talk about the same thing, but we talk about it from different angles and we keep coming at it from different ways until we can ultimately let go, surrender, detangle, understand. And it just really doesn't matter because it's taken us so long to get here, so we can take the journey that we want to surrender. Good morning, Ray. Hello, hello, hello to you. I'm very excited about anxiety and stress. And why am I excited about anxiety and stress? We carry it due to conditioning. We carry it because this is what the human journey is about. We carry it because this is the way that life unfolds. And today we can start to understand it together. Hello, Farnaz, and hello, Sati. Hello, hello, hello. Really excited, really excited. And this is very similar to last week's emotional, being aware of the emotional body. But the emotional body, because there has been so many years of buildup, and it's part of the human experience that we have to learn to detangle from it. We can do the emotional body over and over and over again and continue to expand and expand and expand and grow. And so today it's about understanding anxiety and understanding stress. And both anxiety and both stress are about living in the future. If you are feeling anxiety and you are feeling stress, it means that you are not present now. It means that you're projecting into the future. So that's one aspect of anxiety and stress, is that anytime we're feeling anxious or anytime we're feeling stressed, we can take a moment and just ask ourselves, hey, am I present? And hey, am I capable of getting present now? Or, that's not a very good one because we are all capable. How am I best served? How can I best get into the present? And we might not be able to get into the present. We might be able to breathe and get into the present. We might be able to use any of our five senses. I talk a lot about our five senses and how any one of our five senses can instantaneously get us into the present. But sometimes the anxiety and stress is so overwhelming that it takes much more purpose and much more awareness to get us into the present. And today we're going to work on it. Today we're going to understand it. Today we're going to detangle it. Today we're going to love it. Today we're going to appreciate it. Today we're going to honor it. Today we're going to have excitement and play with it. And that's why I get excited, because anytime we're willing to become more aware of any conditioning that keeps us grounded in anything other than the highest vibration of our truth, it's exciting and it's fun and it is play. It is play. Good morning to you, Kim. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, anxiety and stress. Anxiety and stress. Like I said, anxiety and stress means you're not living in the present. You are in the future. You are projecting into the future. Anxiety, and they could have been two separate topics. I could have done anxiety one day and stress one day, but the principles are the same. And I think some people call it anxiety, some people call it stress. I've never called my energy, my resistant energy, anxiety. The form that I used my resistant energy was always stress. So the reason I wanted to call it anxiety and stress is so we can be inclusive, because both of them project into the future, but some people do it from anxiety, which is fear-based. Fear. Anxiety means there is a fear that I carry within me on my security. It's the base or the root chakra, the anxiety. And today, instead of calling us anxiety, what we're going to do is work together to see, what is it that I'm anxious about? What is the fear that I'm carrying? What is the fear in my security, in my ability to provide. We're going to break that down and understand what that fear is. Because once we understand what the root of it is, then we can let it go. Stress, on the other hand, stress is about feeling there's a load and it's building and you feel incapable. And it's more on the solar plexus, that I am not able to, that I have X and I have Y and I have Z and I have A and I have B and I have C and I have all of this load, and all of that is creating, some people call it anxiety, some people call it stress. It depends on where it's coming from, but it's creating this load that I don't feel capable of being able to perform. So, do you call it anxiety? Do you call it stress? Do you call it anxiety and stress? Do you differentiate? Do you not differentiate? Doesn't really matter. What we want to do today is understand it for what it is. And we all know it's the 5 steps. We're going to become aware. We're going to become aware on our 4 bodies. Our egoic body. I used to say all the time, my life is crazy, my life is crazy, my life is crazy. Guess what I created? A really crazy life where I was moving from place to place and hustling. And I was happy, but it was a crazy life, and it wasn't present and gentle and flowing and easy. So let's see, what is the beliefs that we're carrying about our life? Do we believe that we're anxious? Do we believe that were we labeled as an anxious child, and that label continued with us? Let's look at what our judgments are, what we hold our beliefs and our identity is, and let's detangle from it and come back to our truth. Let's come back to our truth. Our thoughts. What are our thoughts? How do we think about ourselves? How do we judge ourselves? How do we hold anxiety and stress? How do we hold ourselves? We're going to explore that again from the mental body. And, a lot of us during our live streams talk about how our mind is looping and how or whatever. That's directly correlated to anxiety and stress. And it's directly correlated to us not being willing to be aware of our different bodies. So guess what we're going to do together? We're going to become aware. We're going to become aware of our mental body, its relation to the egoic body, set the new egoic beliefs and identity, and watch the mind probably still be conditioned to go towards certain thoughts. But we're going to slowly and gently recondition it to have thoughts that empower and enable us. Power and enable us. Then we'll go to the emotional body. This is where anxiety and stress, we're not being true to that resistance. Because anxiety and stress are labels that we're not willing to label what the real feeling is. And it might be because we're numbing ourselves out and we're not willing to feel our emotion. Let's figure out what that fear is. Let's stop saying anxiety. Let's choose to not use the label anxiety and try to create a new language that says fear. Fear. And instead of anxiety, we say, wait a second, I'm feeling anxious, and anxious is fear. Fear. And let me try to determine what this fear is. What is the fear? And I am going to look at, confront, and see this fear. And I see Farnaz is looking at fear right now in her place where she is. And it will be interesting, Farnaz, to see the energy, to see the fear, and to make sure you're safe as well. So let's look at, really understand that anxiety is about being being fearful. Let's not be fearful, because we're not going to affirm it and switch it on and off, but we're going to acknowledge the fear. Acknowledge the fear, and then come back to the egoic beliefs and determine whether or not we need to be fearful. Whether the fear allows us to trust and to believe and to be connected. So let's recognize that energy. Number 2, stress. Stress might be frustration, it might be anger, it might be sadness, it might be overwhelmment. There are labels other than just stress. Let's detangle. Let's get to the lowest common denominator. Let's figure out exactly what that emotional body is telling us. And then once we understand, are aware, then acknowledge the deeper meaning. And we all know the acknowledgement of that deeper meaning is worthiness, freedom, love, happiness, peace, joy. Then we can appreciate that everything that happens to us, everything that we experience, every conditioning and unconditioning is to help us grow and expand. So then we appreciate what we're experiencing. We appreciate life. We appreciate what's going on, and then we can let go. We let go. So today, anxiety and stress, we're going to detangle from using those words and try to see if, not try, we will create the intention to find the lowest common denominator emotional body so we can let go. And then, most importantly, they're all important, but for different topics, different bodies have a different impact. The physical body is extremely impacted with anxiety and stress. The fact that we're calling it anxiety and stress is, although it's rooted in the emotional body, we're not being aware of it. And so it's building up in us physically. The physical tension, the physical, I can't find the right word, but you guys help me. The reaction, the physical reaction is so significant with anxiety and stress that we brought it down to anxiety and stress. And the next level is actually illness. The next level is actually chronic pain and chronic illness. So anxiety and stress are the preludes, and they actually could also be in union with a lot of illnesses. So what we're going to do today is acknowledge and become aware and explore how we carry it in our bodies. I carry it here in my jaw. When I get my massages, they're like, wow, you're tight. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm tight. I can be so tight and not realize I'm tight. How is that when that's my natural state of being tight? Sometimes people can hyperventilate. Sometimes we can create like really drastic physical reactions from anxiety and stress. But if we become aware, then we can ultimately go through the journey of acknowledging what this is guiding us to: appreciate, let go, and surrender. And yes, absolutely, Seti, when we're stressed and anxious, we forget to breathe. And sometimes just breathing, can help us get through the moment. But if we don't take the time at one point to understand what the emotions are saying, to understand the judgments we're carrying on our body, on our security, on our abilities, on our capabilities, on life, then we're ultimately going to continue to have these moments. And so the work, the play, the excitement that I said, I'm so excited, is about recognizing the patterns and being able to more and more build up that muscle. You all like the muscle analogy, till we have smaller and smaller and smaller and shorter and shorter and shorter experiences, until the majority of our life is in surrender and ease and flow. That's what it's all about. So Sporty Jen, stomach, neck, and shoulders. That's where she's carrying it. The stomach, the neck, and the shoulders. And where you're carrying it is a fabulous hint to what chakra is also being restricted. I love the chakras. I absolutely love the chakras. And I like to stay true to like speaking language that we all know, but the correlation between the chakras and our physical sentiments and the spiritual meaning and what we're going through is so fascinating to me. It's so fascinating to me. I always bring up the chakras. It's fascinating to me. So the stomach, that's where stress is. And that's my ability, that's the solar plexus, and it's your belief in your capability of doing. So stress in the stomach makes a lot of sense, because the stomach, the solar plexus, is where we believe we are capable of doing. The neck and shoulders is the throat chakra, It's our ability to speak our truth. And if we can't speak our truth wherever we are, in work settings or personal settings, in relationships and family, you're going to build up a lot of tension and resistance here. The shoulders is connected close to the heart chakra. So again, not being able to be freely loving and freely happy. So it's really interesting when you see where you hold your tension, and it's real correlation to how you're feeling. So Sporty Jen and all of you that are carrying things, share where you're carrying it and what is it meaning? What do you know what your anxiety is? Do you want to know what your stress are? Are you guys happy today with the preamble, and are you ready to get to play? I keep saying work, but I'm going to say to play. My first is wet work. And that's what it is all about. It's reconditioning ourselves for new words and new terminology. It's not struggle and suffer and difficult and hard. It's ease and flow and life and celebration. It's not work, it's play. It's journey, it's experience. Let's recondition the way that we think, our egoic beliefs, the way that we process. And then it will allow the life to unfold from a different place. Charlotte, jaw. That's where I carry it in a lot too. I hold back my truth sometimes, which is a lot of people that know me are like, no, you don't, Manal. But I do. I'm sensitive sometimes, and sometimes I want to say something and I don't. And I honor other people sometimes to the point that I don't articulate what my desires are. And I have trouble asking for help when I need help, and I have trouble speaking to myself from a place of vulnerability. So no, I'm very articulate and I can speak a lot of places and I have a lot of strong leadership skills, but that doesn't mean that at times that I can't speak my truth. Beautiful. Left jaw, left side, left trap. I think here you mean left side. It's again, speaking our truth, speaking our truth. So Tina, I know for Tina saying I'm like that too, Manal. I know a lot about speaking our truth. I know a lot of people would also negate that and say, no, Manal, you do, and you're free, and you do that. And that negation also keeps me from speaking my truth, because I'm even vulnerably sharing something about how I am and how I feel. Like sometimes if something bothers me or somebody's doing something or coming in, I feel that I have to be polite versus try to set a boundary, which I know a lot of people can easily do. And that's speaking truth. That's being true to myself. But I'm starting to build my capacity to do it, and do it from a place of honoring myself and honoring the other person and feeling and seeing how to do that. So I'm developing that skill. But it doesn't mean just because I have a skill of speaking freely that sometimes I can't speak my truth. And that's why it's caught here. Beautiful, Tina. Well spoken, and I'm glad that resonates with you. It's a friendly, free spirit, and that sometimes we have a profile that sometimes we're being polite and caring about not hurting other people's feelings. And this is where it's coming. Tina, I think that you all got that. Yes, Tina saying yes, being polite sometimes or caring about not hurting other people's feelings. And that's why when we talk about relationships and boundaries and actor versus reactor, the number one thing that we need to be in is with alignment with our inner power, alignment with our truth. And when we're in alignment with our truth, then we speak truth from compassion. It doesn't need to be rude. It doesn't need to be difficult. It doesn't need to be with anger and sadness. But when we feel that it does, that means that we're holding resistance that we're holding against ourselves. If we can't put a boundary from compassion, it means that we're holding in judgments against ourselves or against the world and resistance. And it's a clue to us to identify, to become aware, to let go of, to understand what this resistance is guiding us towards. So even when we recognize it's from a place of compassion, and it's a place of growth, it's a place of self-recognition, it's a place of self-understanding, it's a self of building ourselves. For many cultures, it's really important to think about other people before yourselves. For many cultures, it's really important to see how people will perceive it, to be kind, to be nice, to be polite. But I'm not negating the kindness and the politeness and the niceness. But the kindness and the politeness and the niceness starts by being true with ourselves. And if we don't, it ends up coming in spurts of rebellion, in spurts of anger, in spurts of resistance. So why don't we just line up for ourselves so it comes out from naturally being compassionate and naturally speaking our truth. Tina, absolutely. Even without being rude, sometimes people react to boundaries negatively sometimes. Absolutely. But if we're in alignment, we can recognize that's them, not us. If we're in alignment, and then if we react to it, there's a growth opportunity for us. There's a growth opportunity for us. And it's our closest relationships that are most intimately connected and entangled with us that are helping us to create our alignment with our inner power and honoring our voices and honoring our hearts and honoring ourselves. So let's see how we speak our truths. So I think does everybody have some sort of energy and resistance here? I mean, I think we're all human, so there must be something that we can't tell others, things that we're hiding from ourselves, hiding from our truths. And it doesn't mean we have to tell everybody everything. But if we feel like we can't share our truth, this is where resistance builds up. When we feel like we can't say yes or no, when we can't feel like, yes, I'd like a glass of water, or no, I wouldn't like to drink that Coke, or yes, I'm going to take it because you're asking. In some cultures, if they invite, you have to say yes, regardless of your desire, because you will offend. You will offend. What's offensive of wanting or not wanting? In some cultures, you have to ask and ask and ask over because you can't say yes in the first time because it indicates you being rude. What happens to us just being genuine from the beginning and having that authenticity from the beginning, that my truth is received with kindness and compassion, and whether or not that truth is seen in the same way, that we could still recognize that our intentions is from love and compassion. It's so interesting sometimes how our topics of anxiety and stress leads us during our inspirations, because at the end of the day, we're talking about inner power now and kindness and compassion, because we were talking about resistance in our throat chakra, in our jaws. It's fascinating to me. It's fascinating. Is everybody on everybody feeling good? Is everybody aligned? Is everybody, are we speaking to the topic? Liz is saying good morning and afternoon from Toronto, Canada. A fellow Canadian, her and our partner, Tony, are happy and grateful for being here with Manal. That's me and others in this community. Welcome. Good morning, Liz, to you. Sporty Jen, when I need to speak up quite often, anger arises first. Beautiful. Beautiful. I think this is beautiful. So Sporty Jen, I think that's a beautiful awareness. And everybody, if you can tap into right now, when you need to speak your truth or when you desire to speak your truth, is there a resistant energy that you feel before that? So for Sporty Jen, she said anger. And what we'll do when we get into it is come into where that was conditioned, where it felt that until you could only speak your truth when you were, I'll use the word, triggered, conditioned into getting angry first, and then it will come out in your spurts. That anger allows you to speak your truth, but when you're kind and nice and in alignment, you can't. Let's figure out where that conditioning comes from. Let's figure it out today. Let's figure out our conditioning and then be able to speak from a place of alignment, from a place of truth, from truth. Tina's on the same page and Kim as well, giving the yeses and the thumbs up. Nicole, mine is always trying to find the perfect time to voice my truth. Beautiful. So Nicole, in there, I assume, I sort of extrapolate that the perfect time means you're not trusting. That rather than being in the moment with recognizing that there's something you want to say, you're always playing with time. Now, maybe now, second guessing. There's different elements that are tied with your truth. It's not present. So there's something happens. I'm trying to control the outcome. Beautiful. Control. See the beauty in that. Anxiety and stress has a form of control. Control is a form of fear. Fear is not being able to provide or to speak or to do. There's a relationship with that. So beautiful, beautiful. We're trying to control. We do not trust. There is fear. So whether it's anger or timing it perfectly, we're not aligned with truth. We're not allowing. And allowing can only happen when we're resistant free. So together we go and we look through the different bodies to get resistant free. It's fun. It's fun. It's absolutely perfectly fun. And this is what we're going to do. And we're going to do it with fun. And we're already doing it. We're already doing it. I'm like, this is what we're going to do. We're already doing it. Please share with me. Do you have a better understanding right now of anxiety and stress? Are you able to stop and pause and start to look at the physical sensation and its related emotional reaction and the mind? And then we still haven't said, okay, what are the beliefs that we're gonna calibrate to? This is so much fun. June, good morning from Western North Carolina. Good morning, a fellow North Carolinian. Karen, anger, fear, anxiety, sense of injustice are all triggers. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Karen, anger. Anger is from the heart chakra. Fear is from the root chakra. Anxiety is fear, the fear that we can't label. A sense of injustice, unfairness are triggers. Beautiful, beautiful. There are calibrators. So here are some fun energy, resistant energy that we get to work with today. We're going to work with it. And we're going to go into that meditation. Kim, I became hesitant to speak my truth in my marriage. Yes, our most intimate relationships are spiritual partners. We can call them spiritual partners. Spiritual partners that helped you to speak your truth and identify your truth, and trying to find, when you find a new partner, is a partner where you can clearly speak your truth. This partner was a wonderful partner to help you grow. Without this partner, Kim, you would not probably be where you are. I don't know why it has to, but it takes some sort of external conditioning, external incident, external experience for us to start to look internally. That was actor reactor. It was all about, actor was about being internally, I can't find the word again, guys, internally inspired versus externally conditioned. So our experiences, particularly with our most intimate relationships, are the experiences that help us go from external to internal. So Kim, what I'm going to offer is, when are we going to ultimately recondition that relationship to realizing he was a spiritual partner? He led you to a spiritual growth, and honoring that relationship for taking you to the next level. And every partner doesn't have to be till death. That was the model. But it might not always be the model. So I hope that resonates with you, with Kim, and a lot of you that are dealing with relationships. Dealing with the outlash that occurs after speaking. Nicole, that's fantastic. Now, that's a belief that there has to be an outlash. That means that you're doing it from anger. And that means it's not coming from allowing and from truth, and being received with resistance. Can your message be received without resistance? Can your message be received with truth? And let's recondition yourself to believe that if you speak your truth, it has to have outlash. When it comes from vulnerability, it can come from love. So if you shift that anger and those expectations, crucial conversations can come from love, can come from heart. Let's move to not expecting that when we speak our truth, it can't be received. That's another limiting thought and a limiting belief. Let's shift those ones. Sporty Jen, yes, usually I always talk about the rainbow of emotion. So Sporty Jen says, for me, feeling anger goes with feeling upset. Yes, there's a rainbow of emotions. And when I say, okay, what is the emotion? They have so many different flavors. In one incident, when we do a lot of our emotional work, it has so many different places within you that it sticks, and it has different emotional names. So beautiful, 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 beautiful that you're willing to and able to start to say, these are the labels and these are the names that I'm calling it, and start to understand. Tina, harder for me to speak my truth at the beginning of dating a man. And you're laughing about that. And that's great. So what does that say about you? Does it say about trust? Is it smart? Are you hiding yourself to try to get his approval before you could start? Are you looking for approval before, or are you being smart? What is the judgment on that? So let's break that down a bit more and say, oh, I'm scared for, I want their approval, and because of that, I'm not speaking my truth, and see where it comes out in different places, and also see where did it start off from? Where did it start off? Good. Whenever I pause, it's because I'm trying to go back. Kim was agreeing, and I think I don't have to speak to any of this. Oh no, here's a great one. Karen, I'm learning to calm myself and collect my thoughts before speaking. I'm such greater than I used to be. Fantastic, Karen. That's beautiful. It's hardest with the closest. It is hardest with the closest because the stakes are the highest. The stakes are the highest. You want their love. You want their approval. You love them unconditionally. So yes, the stakes are the highest, and some people think it means that the other person is bad. No, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It means that we're spiritually connected. There's a reason for our relationships, and we're here to amplify us. We're here to help us unconditioned. We're, in Seed of the Soul, they call it about spiritual partnerships. Not marriage, but spiritual partnerships. And the intention of it is recognizing that we enter into relationships to help amplify us. And to take off some of that stress of the physical providing. And before, relationships were about providing for ourselves physically, and one would cook and clean and take care of the children, and others would ultimately bring in the money. And those relationships were based on need, on physical security and need. But as we've evolved, we have less real need on a physical level in our partnerships, but it's more emotional, mental, and spiritual need. And so these spiritual partners might not last as long in the past, because since we don't have that sense of security and that need that we had in the past, we're able to evolve and take it to the next level. Beautiful. I see that Ginny, hi, which is guest, and I think anonymous for all of you. Hi, Manal, it's Ginny, and mine is anxiety and fear. My wife was rushed to hospital yesterday with a TIA or a mini stroke, and so scared for her and me losing her. Already dealing with depression, anxiety, but trying to be strong. Beautiful. Ginny, beautiful, and you're beautiful, and I thank you for sharing. And I want to shift one thing. Instead of trying to be strong, you are strong. And you are aligned with infinite power when you're in alignment with your inner power. And being here and looking for the love and looking for the support and it's here for you is absolutely beautiful. So you are strong, and you have infinite inner power. So you are strong. When we experience things, yesterday or the other day, it was on Sunday when we were talking about, somebody had talked about their nephew passing, and a lot of the conversation was about honoring the feelings that are associated with that. So your partner, your dearest partner, is suffering medical and health and being rushed to the hospital. That is scary. That is scary. That is fearful. That is. So what I'd like for us also to do is to become aware of honoring the emotion that is present now, and differentiating that from the emotion that we're projecting in the past and in the future. And recognizing if what we're feeling now is because of physical situation and physical conditions, or if it's generated from the mind or misbeliefs. This is the first time that I've ever articulated this in this way, and I think it's really powerful. So I'm going to say it again, and I want you all to tell me if you're with me. When we are experiencing things in the physical, somebody is hurt, there is death, there is accidents, there is relationships. We need to honor our emotions. It's the suppressing of it that creates it and keeps it in the body, and then generates the mind ego beliefs that keep us trapped in it. So Ginny, right now you are dealing with something that is stressful, and it is anxious, and it is fearful. without overindulging it, it is honorable to honor everything that you're experiencing and feeling and being present with those emotions and not letting your mind and ego project it, project the fear of death and the fear of things getting worse, but to be present with how you're feeling now. This is different from some of the anxiety and anger that we're speaking to that is based on us projecting things in the future from conditions of the past. Are you guys with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Make a cozy place for anxiety and fear and hold the space for that feeling. Exactly. So I want to make sure that you're all with me on that because I think it's really powerful, because a lot of people will talk about things that are really difficult and that are really hard and that would create. And I have one of my favorite meditations and talks on InsightTimer is honoring grieving and mourning, because we need to honor all of the emotions that we're going through. But the spiritual growth comes from deconditioning from stress and anxiety that we're holding from the past and the future and finding a place of surrender. And even when we're physically experiencing things, we can find the surrender. So Ginny, rather than saying strong, because you are strong and you do have infinite access and connection to your inner power, it's about finding the surrender, the trust that we're supported. We're supported, and that everything that's for your highest good will unfold. Surrender. So if you can find the surrender in the experience, the surrender and not extrapolate the fear, then there will be a lot of power for you. Let me see. Let me know, Ginny, if that resonates. Kim, beautiful. I was told that some people are in our lives for a season and not forever. Absolutely. And marriages are difficult because our intention is for a lifetime. Our intention is for a lifetime. But we got to honor that journey. Honor the journey. Even though your intention was a lifetime, if it wasn't, that's okay. Lou, I think it's Lou. La or Lou. My anxiety is afraid of illness and death. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love speaking about death, and I believe that death is all about life, and life is all about death. And the more and earlier without us facing death that we can stop fearing death and recognize it all part of life and the life cycle and the circle of life, the more that when we have a death in our experience, we can honor it. So before we have death, why don't we start to calibrate to recognizing that it's here for a reason? It is here for a reason. Life and death is the things that we can't control. And if we can start to honor it and start to recognize that death is not to be fearful. And if you have beliefs that the spirit lives on forever, it's just death in the physical. But there is a spiritual that will go and live on forever. So recognize your relationship with death. And let's see how we can, maybe I should do a live stream on death. Let me know if you guys would like that. But if you recognize, let's see how you can recondition what your relationship is with death. June is talking to Kim over here, and Victoria. Let me see you, beautiful Victoria. I'm putting stressful energy on myself. I think it's that when I feel my boyfriend is not doing as much as me in the home. I put very high expectations in general on him and often disappointed, trying to lower them, but don't know how to come from the heart. Beautiful. Victoria, beautiful. The first way to recondition that or to come from the heart is to recognize it. To recognize it, which you are because you just said it. So you're aware of it. The second thing is, let's try to understand what it is. Let's try to get to the root of it. Is it that you don't feel worthy? Is it that you're not feeling valued? That him not doing it shows that that he doesn't value you? Let's try to understand what that's coming from. What is it that your judgment on him, what it says to you about you? That he doesn't respect you, even though My mom always says to me, Manal, nobody can disrespect you because you are the one that holds your own respect. So I always don't like to say that disrespect because I'm conditioned not to believe that anybody can disrespect you. But let's try to understand, Victoria, what is acknowledge the deeper meaning of him not doing the work. And if we can calibrate to that, you can ultimately find the balance that you're looking for. So let's look for that. I'm going to wait for you to respond to that. I see comments, you guys. I know these are one of the ones that I am behind. I just said, I think I caught up actually now. Sporty Jen agreeing with Karen. I'm learning to honor myself and not forcing myself to comply with others' want. If I need to speak my truth, I try not to overthink it. I ask, what is it that I want? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I'm trying not to overthink. Fantastic, fantastic. Fantastic. Sporty Jen, it is wonderful. It is all about building the muscle. And if you're better than you used to be, it's what I talk about. It's that curve. We're not going to be a straight line because we're humans. It's going to blip and the muscle is going to get stronger. So if you're getting and finding through awareness that you're calibrating more and more and more to speaking your truth from a place of alignment, from a place of truth, from a place of ease, then you're doing fantastic. And the first step is awareness. 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 Awareness if you have limiting beliefs. Do I have limiting thoughts? How am I feeling about it? Where's my body feeling? Awareness. And then building that muscle and building that muscle and building that muscle to speaking truth from love, speaking truth from compassion, speaking truth from ease, acknowledging or recognizing or assuming that people are going to receive your truth with beauty, because your truth is beauty. For you to be able to speak your truth is beauty, and for those to be able to receive your truth is beauty. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Tina. Dr. Raymond Moody's work helped me accept death of my father recently. Fantastic. The soul never dies. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah, I've over my lifetime, from my more philosophical Manal, have been able to calibrate to honoring that death is a natural part of our process. And I've been blessed to not have had death in my life. And maybe it's because I've calibrated to accepting it, because we always attract what we're resisting. So maybe it's not a coincidence because I've honored it. And so it's all that whole attraction thing. But I do believe that the more we can really recognize that most of our anxiety is because of the fear of death, the fear of ourselves and the fear of our loved ones. And that's ultimately then the fear of security, the security on this earth, and calibrate to finding the acceptance of death and the recognition, acknowledgement of full security. And if you believe the soul never dies, then you never die. It's just the physical. And that's what the human journey is. It's the human journey. That's what we're talking to. The human journey, which is absolutely beautiful. I see a lot of hearts and love, June and Seti, saying things are helpful. Okay, beautiful. And I'm seeing a positive yes. Let's please do something about death in the future. I'll do something next week about death. I can't imagine the hurt my son will go through as I did when I lost my mother. Beautiful. So we extrapolate the death that we have experienced into our loved ones, which means that then conditions them to be fearful of death. Because one of my favorite things to say, and I haven't said it today, and I don't know if I've said it in a while, is even when we don't speak, people pick up how we feel. Our vibrations are felt by others. One of the reasons that we try to get clean vibration isn't just because it feels good, is that people can speak. They might not always be aware, but any of us, come on, think about it. When you walk into a room, can you feel that energy? Can you feel that it's in a room that you want to stay in or a room that you want to get out of? Can you be meeting someone and you say, that person did not give me good vibration. They didn't give me good vibes is what we're going to say. Got bad vibes from that person. You know what? This person did not feel good to me. We can all feel it. We can all feel it. And so we are not always feeling or recognizing what we're feeling, but the loved ones that are close to us can always feel our vibration. So if we're carrying fear of telling them something and holding it and waiting for the right timing, they know, and when they get it, they're not going to receive it well. So ultimately, I believe dealing with any crucial conversation or dealing with any relationship, first we get into alignment if we're not physically at risk or the other person isn't physically at risk. So assuming that the physical is not at risk and there's not a time urgent reason, my biggest teachings and advice for myself and for others is get into alignment with the issue you're dealing with, which means that you feel surrender, and then see how it unfolds from surrender. Good, guys? Good? Is this good? Good, good, good. I'm seeing some, yes, let's do something about death. Victoria, not being valued on the things I do, that I spoke right to my heart. Beautiful. It's your worthiness. It's your worthiness. It's your perception of worthiness. So if you can recognize that the not doing the chores at home and not meeting you at home is actually impacting your belief of your worthiness, your ability to detangle from the emotional reaction, and likely your ability to find resolution by having strong and clean communication will come really easily and very quickly. So tell me if that resonates with you, and we will work through today finding those triggers. We actually got past just talking about anxiety and talking past stress. So when we go into the meditation, it will be a bit more general because we talked about speaking our truth. But really, at the end of the day, if we can see that our triggers come back to us not feeling free or not feeling worthy or not feeling happy, then we align to that. We can find resolution in our issues with much more ease, because the issues isn't about the house cleaning. It's not about the chores. It's about not feeling worthy. And if your partner then makes you feel worthy in different ways and says, I hear you, I love you, I see you, but I really don't enjoy washing the dishes, and it seems that you don't mind, how can we find the balance so you know that you're worthy and you're loved, but we find balance in a different way? Find balance in a different way. Kathy, working on increasing my feelings of worthiness, having anxiety. Fantastic, Kathy. You're human. That's what we're all here for. Worthiness, freedom, and love. And like I've said before, some of us have higher beliefs or less conditioning on the love or the freedom or the worthiness. So no two of us are alike. No two of us are alike. We all come in with our own conditioning. And our scale of 0 to 100 on the worthiness, freedom, and love. And it's a human journey to get 100, 100, and 100. And I believe that we're at 100, 100, 100, then we die. So it's actually good that we're not at 100, 100, 100. And some people will come in with love at 89, and then worthiness and freedom maybe be at 75 and 40. And that their life experience is to teach them is to find a sense of freedom. So yes, beautiful. But now that you're aware that a lot of the reactions that you have is your sense of worthiness, now you can work on the root of the problem rather than thinking that you have anxiety. That you can recognize, oh, my whole life I avoided the recognition that I wasn't worthy, and I turned around and turned it into fear. And I labeled it anxiety. How powerful is that? And now you're not working on cleaning a house, sweeping, and sand keeps blowing in. When you're working on the anxiety, it's like sweeping in a beach and the sand keeps coming in. Let's get to the root of what it is. Let's get to the root. Okay, guys, there's a lot of discussions. If I missed anything that you said and you want me to talk to it, please put it in the window again. And I see that there's some new ones coming in. Crystal, welcome. And Sophie, welcome. And welcome everybody else. We're all a powerhouse in progress. Liz, we are all a powerhouse in progress. Liz, the race is not always on the swift, but to those who keep on running, don't wait for your ship to come in, swim out to it. And that's being the actor in your life. It's about being the actor, being the actor. Cynthia, loving all of this, makes sense and resonates deeply and joyfully. Here's some comments on vibration. Yes, Manal, this is one of the truths. Okay, guys, if I missed anything, let me know. If I missed anything, let me know. Okay, we're at 50 minutes, and I want to know how everybody is feeling, and if you're ready to jump into a meditation, because we would not be doing this topic such a justice if we don't go into our bodies, because there's a lot of energy that I can feel. Sophie, I was expecting a phone call at 3 today to start some therapy for anxiety, and turns out it's been delayed, which she looks angry, but maybe it means that you could stay on this call. I'm not sure. And we're talking, and we're gonna release it all. Ren, what about the fear of being afraid and its own sensations? Oh my God, Ren, that's always my favorite. One of my dear friends, when we were doing something about fear, I said, today it's about fear. And my dear friend said, well, I don't have fear. And I know my dear friend. So I looked at my dear friend. Actually, we were on the phone, so there's no looking. But I said to my dear friend, well, actually, your fear is a fear of fear. So you don't even acknowledge your fear. And I know that you have fears. And I just got the biggest laughter because of the recognition of that. Yeah. Ren, if you have to start with the fear of a fear, go ahead. Go ahead. You're just starting at root. And then you go to the fear of what all the other fears are. But if you got to start with the fear of fear, you look at the fear and fear and say, that's resistance on resistance on resistance. Resistance on resistance on resistance. Because you guys know I talk about resistance on resistance. This is resistance on resistance on resistance on resistance. So just look at the fear of fear. Acknowledge it. Take time when you meditate to feel into it, as we will today. Acknowledge the deeper meaning. Desire for worthiness, your freedom, your love, whatever it might be. Celebrate your journey. Celebrate that you're human. Celebrate that this is just the way that life evolves. Celebrate the beauty and the unfolding. And then just let go of it. Let go of it. Just let go of it. Imagine it going. Just like we're going to do today in the meditation. And then find surrender. And the next time, first time your fear might be at 84. The next time it might be at 76. And then it might be at 62. And then it might be at 53. And then all of a sudden it might be at 21. And then you might forgot that you've even were fearful of fear. And now you're fearing something else. Or now you're dealing with a different energy. It's all a muscle that you're conditioning to. And the way that you condition to it is ultimately through awareness, through awareness, through what we're doing, through talking about it from honor and love and joy and celebration. And I see Cynthia said fear. Oh, it just scrolled away. Fear's false evidence appearing real. Beautiful. Yes, I believe that. And I believe that everything's our perceptions. Everything is a perception. That our reality is that things are beautiful. Reality is life is beautiful. And anything that we perceive that's inconsistent with that is resistance. So let's just recalibrate by looking at truth. And that's by going back to our egoic beliefs. Our egoic beliefs that life is beautiful. I am supported. Everything is amazing. Samantha, I asked for my business to expand. I feel an expansion, but I don't want to expand the business if it will mean less quality time with my family. I'm wondering if my resistance is coming from a place of abundance of fear. Yeah, there's fear in there. There's abundance of fear. Sometimes we have fear of our success. There's a fear that we have to choose. A lot of times my friends will say or, and I'm like, why does it have to be or? It's and. Quality time and freedom. It can be ands. We always think, we're conditioned to believe that one has to take place in the other and that we have to sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice. No, it doesn't have to be sacrifice. The bigger your business is, the more that you can hire people, the more that you ultimately can become free. Build a business where you are free. Free. Samantha, tell me if this resonates and if it comes to the question that you're holding. Things can be and. When you say, I want my business to expand, and I want to have great, fantastic quality time with my family, and make that one of your asks. Ren, body sensations can be so overwhelming in the beginning. And that's why I like to do it in meditation. And then once you start to build up that muscle, then you can do it during the day when something happens. Sometimes if it's overwhelming for me, I say to myself, I see that energy. I see you. I don't have the capacity, or I'm out in the world right now. I can't deal with this right now. Please, I'm going to deal with this tonight. When we overlook it and we run from it and we don't acknowledge it, it becomes overwhelming. It's almost like, I don't know why I keep having clean house. I think it's because Victoria talked about this example. It's almost like cleaning house. If I only clean my house once a year, it's going to be a mess. Once a season, it will be easier. Once a week, it's going to be much easier. So body sensations, how often are you cleaning up your body? How often are you feeling into your body and your emotions? How often are you really connecting and asking? And if the answer is not very often, it's going to be overwhelming, just like it would be if I hadn't cleaned up since last season. My garage, it feels overwhelming to clean because I don't clean it often. But my house, every week, I'm always on it. So it's less overwhelming. So Ren, how often are you cleaning your body? And that's what today's meditations are. And that's what our inspirations are. It's all about feeling into the body, being safe, honoring it, loving it, caring for it, and cleaning it up. Because we're human. We're going to pick up vibration. We're going to pick up vibration from our conditioning. We're going to pick up vibration from the world. COVID, the pandemic, we picked up so much vibration, and there was so much talk in the spiritual realm about people picking up things from the planet and from the world, and there was so much vibration of fear. We were picking up externally. How could you not go outside and see masks and not be fearful? But if we condition ourselves to feeling into our body on a regular basis and feeling into our emotion and honoring it and recognizing its conditioning and not judging it and loving it, then it becomes a day-to-day, this is what I do. Beautiful, Ren. Beautiful. I guess I haven't cleaned for years, so it's at the high anxiety stage. Beautiful. And now what I'm going to invite for you is, instead of it being high anxiety, just say that we're going to take it whatever time it needs to be. We're going to do it together. That we have a community. We have a community. Look right now, how many of us, there's so many beautiful faces along the bottom ribbon. I don't know if you all see the faces as well. And we're all here. Put in hearts and tell Ren that we're all here doing it together. We've got a community in InsightTimer. How many teachers are there in InsightTimer? How many meditations are there? How many groups are there? Join our group, Attaining Our Authentic Life. You're doing it with community and with support and with love. And I'm not going to teach everything that everybody needs to know. There's so many teachers that say so many things with so many, look at all these hearts. So just recognize, Ren, that you're in the beginning of your journey. There's people at all levels of their journey, and we're all here to hold each other's hands and support each other and to go through it. Liz, I've had this book titled Fear the Fear and Do It Anyway, and it's a good read and words will live on. Beautiful. And sometimes fear is here to tell us something good. Sometimes fear is something to guide us. Sometimes fear is sometimes to protect us. So learn how to honor your fear and see when you do it and see when you don't. And that's all part of the allowing and the trusting. So I'm not going to say feel the fear and do it anyways, like the book title does, but that book title I know had a thesis in it. But I'm going to say the fear is a calibrator and the fear is a gift. And fear is actually fight or flight. The fear is actually sometimes telling people they're not safe and to leave. And you also listen to your intuition and listen to it. And sometimes it's a gift to guide you. Crystal, my fear is constantly at 90. I have OCD, so it's hard to let go. Beautiful, Crystal. That's very similar to what Ren said. Very similar to Ren. And I hope what I said to Ren resonates with you, even though you said it before, because things are going through. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're starting at 90 and you've got a label of OCD and those are egoic beliefs. So Crystal, I think you're new. You said you were new. So OCD and hard to let go. Those are two beliefs that if we can shift those beliefs when you're ready, when it's a time for your highest good, that it will allow you to deal with the fear from a different place. So OCD, keep going here, I believe we have our 4 bodies: egoic body, mental body, emotion body, and physical body. OCD is a label that you're giving to. It's an identity. And even though our identities are very valuable because it helps us understand things and it helps us calibrate to things and it helps us and it builds community, does a lot of things, but it also limits us. And at the end of the day, the best and the strongest egoic belief is I am. I'm connected, I'm supported, I'm beautiful, I'm universe, I'm love, I'm God, I'm worthy, I'm free. But I am OCD and it's hard to let go. Those are 2 beliefs that will keep you in your physical body. So the first thing I'll ask you is, are you willing, Crystal, to let go of that belief? Are you willing to? So let me ask you that, Crystal. And meanwhile, I'll see that that there's a lot of love going towards Ren, and June is saying, yes, I am safe, I am loved, I'm supported, I am healthy, I am loved. So Crystal, are you willing to recognize or recalibrate from the label of OCD and the belief that you don't have the capability to let go? Are you willing to? Yes, I am 100%. Beautiful. First step. So all of you, all of us right now, who has been carrying a label of being anxious, of being stressed, of being OCD, about some sort of label, whether or not it's true, are we willing to let go of the identity, resistant identity, and calibrate to truth that's empowering? Are we willing to recognize that anxiety might be something that I am feeling, but not my identity? Because the way to align our bodies is to let go of those beliefs and then find alignment with the truths of your new beliefs. We let go of resistance one body at a time. And the easiest body is from our beliefs body. So what are the beliefs you want to hold? I am unconditionally worthy. I'm unconditionally free. I'm unconditionally loved. I am supported. I have connection to my inner power, which gives me infinite strength. There is a higher power, and everything that's happening to me has a meaning. I may have conditioned myself to fear and anxiety and stress in the past, but I recognize that I am a powerful being, and I'm going to connect and reconnect and calibrate to this inner power. How does that all feel? How does that all feel? How does that all feel? Do you all welcome it? Does it resonate? How do we feel? Give me words, give me hearts, give me feedback. Samantha, yes, and thank you. My parents were immigrants, and when they became financially successful, my mother got so stressed and passed away from cancer. My father got back to sound drugs and finally passed away too. We had less quality time as a family, and I blame money to the dissipation of our family. I recognize and aware that I developed fear of having money due to my family history. That's just absolutely beautiful, but you're right, I can have both and not or. Samantha, beautiful, beautiful. Usually people have to dig into their bodies to find that, and you found that. The point of the play that we're having, which is why I'm always excited, is when we open the lens to the awareness of the relationships, we can uncover it like that and free ourselves. Samantha can have a bigger business and quality time. And when she lets go of the quality time, Samantha, when you let go of the resistance of the quality time, because now your resistance to wanting your business to expand, they will both expand. Fascinating, amazing, beautiful, wonderful, powerful, powerful, powerful. Did I miss any other comments? Because I scrolled through and I saw that. Did I miss anything else that anybody said that I should say? How is everybody feeling? And are we ready for a meditation? I am feeling so great. Still some resistance in part. Sporty Jen. Still some resistance in part. Grief and sadness dominates my identity. I struggle to free myself from all this because I don't know what else I have. Yeah, Sporty Jen, this is wonderful observation. Oh my God, Sporty Jen, beautiful. Beautiful. I love that you mentioned this. Sometimes we get scared to let go because it's the only thing we have identified with. We don't know how to identify with happiness. We don't know how to identify with trust. We don't know how to identify with struggle. And so we're fearful of letting go of the grief and sadness because it's who we are. And we're fearful of losing relationships because this is how we engaged with others. It's how we connected with others. It's how we were supported and seen by others. It's a fantastic awareness. And I'm so happy that you brought it up. So what are we going to do with it? We're going to recognize it. We're going to see it. We're going to honor it. We're going to recognize that the first resistance is another resistance on resistance on resistance is that we're fearful of knowing what we are to be happy. That's fear of our happiness. That's fear of our worthiness of being happy. Or fear of us not really and not identifying with us being the true vibration of love. And so you hold it of recognizing that there's a fear of letting go of that identity. So you go up. We keep going up until we get to the highest fear. We keep going and going and going till we really get to where it is and get to the root of it. Oh, it's not the grief and sadness I need to let go. It's the fear of letting go of the grief and sadness. Now, isn't that more powerful? Is that not more powerful, Sporty Jen? Do you not now feel more empowered to recognize it's not the grief and sadness because you can't let go of it until you let go of your identity with it and that struggle from that? Beautiful. When I laugh, I catch myself, feel guilty, and go back to feeling sad again. Beautiful. You do not feel worthy to be loved. There it is. There it is. You're loved. You are unconditionally loved. And you don't feel worthy to be loved. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Awareness, the hardest step is awareness. The hardest step is awareness. It's the hardest step. So that's why we do a lot of the preamble to help you guys with the awareness. It's the hardest step. Once you're aware, the other steps are just easy, simple. The other steps just come so easily. Beautiful. So everybody that can calibrate now to happiness makes you feel uneasy. You're used to feeling sad and happiness feels alien. Everybody that can resonate that, celebrate that with a heart and awareness now that you're actually scared to feel happy now. Celebrate that awareness because it's so powerful. It's so powerful. It makes me really want to cry. You guys move me every inspiration. Whew, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Liz, I have attention deficit disorder and cerebral palsy. And just scrolled away from me. My partner, Tony, of 9 years. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry. Also has cerebral palsy. I sometimes have trouble saying things sometimes. So, a palsy. Although at times this affects each of us, we do not or will not let us define us. Rather, we embrace what we are. Liz, beautiful. And maybe it was the gift that led you both to awareness. And that you're both supporting and loving each other. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Did I miss anybody? Do I got everything? Oh, I see a lot of hearts. I see a lot of love. I see a lot of conversations between you all. If I missed any of your comments, please put it in. I'm not going to scroll back again. Farnaz, scared of something bad going on is going to happen. That's beautiful. Farnaz, that's almost fear of death. It's like less than, it's not acknowledging the death, but it's fear that something's bad, fear I'm not worthy, fear of not being secure, fear of not being free. So wonderful. And that's the theme that you always talk about during our live streams. And so it's beautiful, but you keep articulating it from a place of more freedom. So you're scared of something bad going to happen again. Before you used to come in with more resistance. So I see that you're growing. Tell me if you feel that overall since you've come on to our live streams, that you've calibrated to a higher point and that your resistance is resistance. Let me know if that is, or if it's that same intensity of fear. Beautiful hearts by Seti, every color. I love it. I love it. Kathy, fear of failure. And many people also get fear of success. Fear of success. Fear of success. Crystal, fear of death. Beautiful. I'm excited about our fear of death, and I think that it looks like it's going to benefit and value. All of us will value that fear of death conversation, and that it is resonating with all of us. And there is such a beauty, such a beauty, such a beauty in death. Such a beautiful. Fear of being unlovable. Fear of being unlovable. Beautiful, beautiful. Fearing illness. Beautiful. Our health, our security. So you guys were getting it. The fear of death is freedom. And the fear of being unlovable is love. Fear of illness is worthiness, I would say. And freedom. Illness is worthiness and freedom. Crystal, the group that I'd love everybody to join is Attaining Your Authentic Life. Attaining Your Authentic Life. We keep the conversation going and just keep talking, and keep talking. I try to do 2 or 3 live streams, and I have a lot of meditations, and all of it is themed on the same thing. It's honoring our journey, understanding, being aware, and just finding that freedom. We are here on the same journey, and it's a beautiful, amazing journey. Sporty Jen, fear of death, being alone, and more change. Next week, we're doing being alone. It's next Tuesday, being alone, because last week, a lot of us resonated on being alone. And so I'm like, Manal, that would be fantastic for us to talk about being alone. So Tuesday is about being alone, and this Thursday is about body image and self-image and body image. Okay, fantastic. Okay, you guys, are you ready to go into a meditation? And I'm going to use the word fear about a lot. I can use anxiety and stress and fear and guide us to find it in our bodies. And I think a lot of, unless there's something else somebody wants to detangle from, I feel like it's a good time to go into a meditation. Waiting just a second to see if there's any questions. I see the hearts. I love the hearts during the live stream because it helps me see that you're all engaged, because you all know me. I just do. And then I don't know if it's being received, and then the hearts come and I'm like, oh, it is. It's being received. Okay. Okay, so everybody, let's start our meditation. The intention of today's meditation is to honor and acknowledge the fear, the anxiety, and the stress that we hold in our body. And I say all those words with a sense of honor and celebration and love, because this resistance of fear is a natural human conditioning. And we're going to condition back to freedom. And this resistance anxiety is a label that we have given for inability or unwillingness to connect with our fear. But today we will connect with our fear. And this label of stress is us feeling incapable in this world. And all of these energies are mostly us projecting to the future. Sometimes there's conditions for us to feel fear and anxiety when we're going through something in the physical. But most of the time it's us projecting into the future. So today we are going to go into our bodies and just find and observe and explore these energies with the intention of just letting go and calibrating back to our worthiness and our full freedom and our unconditioned love. So let's start with 3 clearing breaths. Take a deep breath in. And release. Take a second deep breath in. And release. Take a third and final deep breath in. Indulge in the gap. And release. At this point, I want you to become aware of your body. Either approach your physical body or your emotional body. Whatever is easiest for you to enter into a feeling of fear, anxiety, or stress. Don't overindulge in any of the feelings. Just be an observer, sort of flying over the energy, becoming aware of it, of seeing the resistance in a new way, in a different way than you have ever before, seeing it with a sense of love, with a sense of compassion, with a sense of understanding that it's natural, it's normal. It's a normal part of being human, is to have emotions. And that in the past you may have avoided seeing your emotions and connecting those emotions with the physical sensations in your body. But now you're ready. You're ready to connect with your body. You're ready to connect with your emotions. And you're ready to recognize that it's pointing you towards your greatest truth, your expression of who you are. So sort of look into that resistance. Might be in your shoulders. We talked about being in our throats, our jaw, our heart, our chest. Might be in our abdomen, our back. We might actually be looking at our body as a whole. And some of you might want to focus in on your internal, any type of chronic pain. Connect with that fear. Connect with that sensation that you might have called anxiety in the past, but now you're going to recognize that's not anxiety. Anxiety may just really call you what you are. Your fear. Your fears. And before I couldn't even acknowledge you, so I just saw you in my physical body, but now I'm going to see you in both my physical and see you in my emotion, and recognize the physical sensations that you are creating in my body and the emotional reaction and feeling, and see you for what you are, because when I see you for what you are, I can release. Feel into the energy, feel into the resistance, feel into the physicality, feel into the emotion, and ask, what am I meant to learn? How am I meant to grow? A recognition that the resistance is here and will continue to repeat itself until I grow and learn. Open yourself up for receiving an awareness of whether it's your worthiness, it's your freedom, your love, self-love. Recognize if you're trapped in your sadness, or your anger, your resentment, or your depression, or labels. See if you're trapped. And whether this resistance is guiding you to see you're not trapped, you're free. You're worthy of love, you're worthy of freedom, you're worthy of all that life is bringing and serving. You are worthy, unconditionally worthy. You are beautiful, you are amazing. Journey along your timeline and see if this is something that's been a reoccurring feeling. If you adopted it from childhood, from any conditioning, whether you were in the womb, if you picked up on your mother's vibration, your mother's resistance, your timeline as a child, as a toddler, as a teenager, carried it into your adult years. See if it's, oh, this is a reoccurring pattern. Oh, this came and was conditioned when I was younger. And today I choose to see it, to acknowledge it, to love it, to appreciate it, and to grow and expand from it. I will no longer be held in immobility. I will grow and expand from it. So love that energy, love the conditioning, love where it comes from, love whatever messages you received. Just send some love, whatever you've been feeling and starting to understand and recognize with a greater understanding. Love all your fears, love all your anxiety, love all your stress, love all the resistance, and recognize it is a gift. It is a gift. It's a gift to lead you to greater and greater and greater. And at this point, you can just let go. If you want to shake it off, if you want to physically take it off of whatever body part you felt, you want to breathe in light, and just breathe it out. And imagine whatever means you choose, even if you do them all, that you imagine it going back to the light, going back to the universe, going back to the core of the earth. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Take a deep breath in and let it go back to the light. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And at this point, just take a quick inventory of your body. See if there's anything that's still sticking on. If you're aware of now a different area of your body. And at this point, it might be easier because you've already gone through the process, but just sort of see the resistance. Become aware. See if it's associated with any egoic beliefs, any limiting beliefs, limiting thoughts, emotions, what the physical sensations are. Connect with that beautiful resistance. Yes, beautiful resistance. If we can start to hold a resistance from a place of beauty, it's a gift to help us calibrate. And just because we haven't done our housework in a long time, it might feel overwhelming, but we are doing it now, and we are supported, and we have a strong community, and we are amazing, aligned with our inner truth, connected to source and the universe, and everything is exactly as it's meant to be. And at this point, just let go once again of any of that resistance that you connected with. Just let go, let go, let go. Let go. At this point, take a deep breath in and release any of all resistance back to the universe. Take a deep breath in and release. And take a deep breath in and release. Imagine the light of the universal divine coming in and coming through the crown of your head and through your head and your jaw and your throat. The light of beauty and of allowing, of trusting. And allow that light to go in through your shoulders and your arms, through your chest, and lighting up your heart. Beautiful light, light of love, surrender, allowing, trust, just connecting with your heart and lighting up your heart. Now imagine the light from the earth, from the divine earth, coming in through the soles of your feet, through your calves, your knees, and your thighs, your solar plexus, your sacral first, your pelvic area, your solar plexus, and through and around, connecting in your heart and meeting that universal light. Just feel the sense of security, sense of trust, sense of allowing, sense of knowing, sense of clarity, sense of purpose, sense of worthiness, a sense of freedom, and the strongest sense of knowing that you are unconditional love. You are meant to be happy. We as a human are meant to be in love and happy and enjoying this human experience. And we may have deviated off the path a bit, but it is okay because we know how to get back on the path, and we are on the path. Life now is as it is meant to be. Enjoy that light just radiating through your body. I'm going to pause for a couple of minutes to let everything to just calibrate in your body. If you have a particular intention for yourself, your relationships, your career, your health, for your family, for whatever it might be, just create those intentions and just sit with it. Just enjoy the sensations and just sit with it. Wonderful. And at this point, put your 3 fingers together. Your thumb, your second, and your middle finger. And create the intention that any time during the day that you put your 3 fingers together, it can instantaneously bring you back to this alpha. That you have the means within you to just ground yourself, to center yourself, to come back into this state by simply putting your 3 fingers together, and that you will begin to condition yourself anytime you're in meditation once you get into your alpha, to put your 3 fingers together until your brain is rewired to be able to bring you into this state at any time in demand as you're living in the external world, as you're living your day-to-day life. Wonderful. Now at this point, I'm going to count to 5. At 3, open your eyes. And then we'll see how everybody is feeling. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and open your eyes. 4 and 5. I hope you enjoyed the meditation. And just enjoy the sensations. You can always come to it through the day. And just remember, this is a journey. This is a journey. Don't expect your life to change instantaneously. Everything will change at a time that's for your highest good. Just continue to focus on growing, on expanding, on calibrating back to your truth. Farnaz, some beautiful white hearts. June, thank you, Manal, and all here. Sporty Jen, love that. Thank you, Manal, in all caps. Kim, that was amazing. And Kathy, thank you, with all these beautiful little emojis beside it. Samantha, thank you. Seti, thank you so much, Manal. Wonderful. So are you all feeling good? Are we all willing to let go of the word anxiety and to turn around and see, what is it that I'm fearing? What is it that I'm fearing? And honor that fear, and honor the conditioning, and honor the journey, and just come back. Just come back. Come back to a place of truth. Everything that we experience in life is here to journey us back to truth. Let's enjoy that journey. Let's let go of the judgment. Let's let go of the resistance. Let's let go of that resistance and enjoy the journey back to the truth of our full worthiness, our absolute freedom, and our unconditional love. Crystal, thank you. I haven't meditated in so long. It's so powerful. I've promised myself to practice more. Fantastic, Crystal. You have a full community that's here to support you. And we do it together. And humans, we're about connection, we're about community. So doing it with joy and doing it with others just really enhances the journey. Liz, talk to yourself as you do to someone you love. To the world, you may be just one person, but to the person you are the world. I love that, Liz. Kim, I feel empowered. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm feeling fantastic, and I'm feeling complete. Is everybody feeling complete? Is there anything that you want? Is there anything that you need? For those that are new, I would love for you to follow so you would find out what's going on. Attaining Your Authentic Life is the group that many of us are in. Valerie sadly missed today, but coming on here, I immediately feel the energy. I can tell it's been a great session. Valerie, I'm so glad to hear that. Actually, I'm going to be uploading I found a new technology. I'll be uploading today's session as a talk, and I'll be uploading the meditation as well. So, and I'll label them that you could see that they were past live streams in some way. So I think the next few days you'll see it. But that doesn't mean that you can't come on that you shouldn't come on the live stream, because the live streams I just think are so powerful doing them live. But you'll be able to see it, because every inspiration we come to different understandings. It just fascinates me. I just do the preamble and I think to myself, okay, now what are we going to talk about and how are we going to position this? And then all of you bring it to like different truths, and it's your vulnerability and your power. So fantastic. So they'll be uploaded in the next, hopefully, I don't want to commit because I don't want to break my commitment, but I think the intuitive eating will be uploaded today. If you didn't, I think you're on there, Valerie. And we'll do this one. I'll do it very soon. but every time it comes out, and it's fascinating, and it's like it's a live session. The conversations are live. They're just beautiful. And today was very empowering. I think so, guys, right? I think today was very fantastic. It was very powerful. And I think the thesis is, Valerie, the thesis is, and I know you know the thesis, honor anxiety. Anxiety means that we have fear, and fear is something that we honor, get present with it, see whether it's a present energy that's serving us, or if it's a projection into the future. And if it's serving us now, act on it. And if it's projecting in the future, then look at the conditioning and look at what it's trying to guide you towards: worthiness, freedom, or love. Guys, is that a good thesis of it? We also talked about stress, and stress. We didn't talk as much about stress. I think anxiety and fear was the most of the tone. I think stress probably is under anxiety, and if we haven't talked to the anxiety and fear, who cares about the stress? But it was mostly about anxiety and fear. Sporty Jen, it's very powerful to share with you all. It is so powerful, amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Farnaz, it's so heartwarming to do these together. Thank you. And you had an adventure, it looks like, in the pharmacy this morning. So it looks like you're okay. I'm glad you're okay with that little entertainment that you had, I say in quotes. Well, you are all wonderful. You are all amazing. I love you all. Without you, this would not be. Without you, this would not be. This would not be. This is all of you that makes this, informs this into being a powerful area for us to calibrate back to our truths of our worthiness and our freedom and our love. And I feel the intention with all of us to ultimately be in alignment with our truth. And I want to see all of you flourish in your truths. We talk about our truths, and we all have such unique beauty. And I want us all to celebrate in this unique beauty, and for us to come together with all our individual beauty and create a collective beauty that is unmatched. Because when we're all in our individual beauty and we bring it together as a collection, we amplify our experiences. So I love you all. We will see you. Liz, thank you, Manal, for doing this amazing Live Now event and your amazing gift to me and others in this community. Liz, thank you for being the cheerleader as you cheer on everybody and brings in wonderful wisdom. So really, really appreciate you. Seti, thank you. You're beautiful. I always love your participation. And for all of you that are talking, thank you. And for all of you that are not, thank you. It still takes all of us to build this community, and you're all brilliant and beautiful. Okay, beautifuls, thank you. I love you all. You are all fantastic. I can feel such an energy shift, and I know that you're all growing and expanding. Everybody is exactly where you're meant to be. You are here for a reason, and I celebrate your choice for growth and expansion and freedom. Freedom from all that ties us to anything that is not our truth. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And I am so happy to be on this journey with you all. My love, always.